Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. So excited to be back with you this week. For those of you popping on for the first time, my name is Claudia Cometa, and I am a pharmacist and independent skincare consultant, coming here every Wednesday to provide you tips, tricks, and education on achieving the best skin of your life. Thank you all for helping out with the poll that I put yesterday. It looks like we have a clear winner, but I am going to be bringing on, and hopefully more in the future as well, I am going to be bringing on some experts in the field to talk about things that I don't talk about. So procedural stuff in the office that I don't necessarily get involved with, but would love to bring you the information. So my goal really is for this group to provide you all of the information you need to make the best decisions about your skin. So what I wanted to talk about today is sort of a trendy topic, but I wanted to clarify a few things. So I know that coconut oil has gotten quite a bit of media coverage, news coverage, celebrity coverage. Hi, Donna. And so I wanted to talk about it because you may be confused as to what you should use it for. Should you use it for anything? And what role does it play in skincare in general? Hi, Lori. Thank you all for joining. So let's talk about coconut oil. And first, let me just kind of, let you know that I'm not going to bash coconut oil. I'm not actually anti-coconut oil, but I want to sift through what is true and what is false. So when I bring you a topic, I actually bring it to you with the intention of looking up and researching recent literature. What does the scientific community actually say and demonstrate about what I'm talking about? So I'm not going to celebrity websites and such to bring you this information. It really is to make sure that I'm bringing you sound literature so that you can make the best decisions for yourself. So coconut oil brings to the table a lot of great stuff, right? So it brings some great fatty acids. It's a saturated fat. It brings vitamin E. It brings protein. So it actually does have some benefit. I've actually used it. I've used it in multiple different ways on skin. I've used it on my hair, and I actually do like coconut oil. But let's sift through the benefits. So basically pros and cons. So medical literature actually promotes coconut oil and has shown benefit in a lot of different arenas. So we have shown that coconut oil can actually have some anti-inflammatory benefits. So post UV exposure, it can help with the inflammation related to that. It can help with pediatric patients and atopic dermatitis or eczema. It actually has been shown to be even more beneficial than our current lice treatment. So because of how occlusive it is, and we'll talk about that in a minute, it actually is more beneficial when combined with anise oil versus permethrin, which is what we typically use against lice. So lots of great benefits for coconut oil. So again, I'm not anti-coconut oil, but I do want to sift through. So here are some things to note about coconut oil. While it is moisturizing, it is a very occlusive moisturizer, which means that it may not be the best option for acne sufferers. So it's one of the most comedogenic oils. And if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you may know what comedogenic means, but basically a comedone is a pimple, right? So we've got closed comedones and open comedones. And when we say comedogenic, that means that it's going to promote acne. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining. And so it's going to be a very occlusive moisturizer that is going to promote and potentially worsen the conditions for somebody who is already prone to acne. So that's not really great. Now, will it have some benefit in acne? It can, because of its anti-inflammatory activity, right? We talked about that. So it might lower some of that inflammatory concern, but as far as clogging pores, it's not going to do a great job. It's going to make that worse. So that's one problem is with acne. It's not going to be a hydrator. So if you've, again, watched me for any length of time, you know that there's a difference between moisturizing and hydrating. So hydrating means we bring in water and moisture from the environment to hydrate our skin. Well, something like coconut oil isn't going to be able to do that, right? Because oil and water don't mix. So it's not going to draw in water. In fact, it's going to repel water. So while it has some moisturization in helping with barrier function and locking in what's there, it's not going to bring in any extra benefit because it simply can't as an oil. And the properties of an oil. So consider that. Also, a lot of people use it as a makeup remover, and it can actually be an effective makeup remover, but it needs to be washed off. So it should not be the remnants of that should not be left on after you remove your makeup. Another thing that people use it for and feel like it's effective is as a sunscreen, and it actually can impart some benefit or protection against sun exposure and UV rays. However, it's important to know the details of that. So It functions as an SPF naturally of about 4 to 5. So that's not great, right? We know that we need to have an SPF of at least 30. So as it stands, it's an SPF of about 4 to 5 naturally and blocks about 20% of UV rays. So when we look for a sunscreen, we're looking for something with at least an SPF of 30, and that typically imparts about 97% protection against UV rays. So you can see that it's certainly not going to provide you the extent of protection that you need, although it will provide a little bit, but it's not going to be the end all be all. So what's the point of all of this? The point is to say that there are some benefits of coconut oil. I'm not anti-coconut oil at all. However, you need to know what its benefits are and where you should be using it and where maybe you shouldn't. So I hope some of these tips help. I certainly, like I said, I always keep this concise because, we've all got busy days, but I do want to just shed some light on where coconut oil can be beneficial and where maybe it's not. And of course, if you were trying to tackle a specific problem with your skin, and it's beyond just adding some moisture and maybe, some anti-inflammatory activity, coconut oil certainly isn't going to be everything that you need. Can you use it from time to time in moderation? I think so, as long as you're not acne prone. However, you need to know what specifically you need to use for the skincare concerns that you have so that you can tackle those. So I hope that was helpful. If you have anybody who might be benefiting from this, feel free to invite them. Don't simply just add them, but ask if they would like to join. And I always upload these to YouTube. So even if somebody's not on Facebook, as soon as I get done, I typically upload to YouTube, so you can share from there as well. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to put them in the comments or message me. I would love to answer those. So hopefully it was helpful. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Always continue to send topics my way. I will let you know when we will have our esthetician on, when we can get that scheduled. But in the meantime, I will continue to bring you topics every Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week.